Recording forked data with FirsDC. This video explains how to enter data for trees that contain forks. From the FirsDC menu, select Plots and select the plot you wish to measure. Enter the plot data and click Trees. We're now in the Trees section, which has been explained in earlier videos. Enter the diameter at breast height, and instead of clicking Save plus Tree, we click Save plus Fork. This brings up a new box which has fork height. This is the point in the tree where a crosscut would be made, just below a fork. So in this example, I'll use 6 meters. We enter fork number 1 and the percentage of those. So if both forks were the same size, it would be 50%. But make an estimate of what percentage the forks are. So I'll say 60 for this one. We have the option here of a normal fork or a ramicorn. In this case, we'll use a normal fork. We click Save plus Fork again, and the fork height is still 6 meters, but we're now talking about the second fork, and it automatically defaults to the remaining amount, being 40%. At that point, you can click Save plus Tree, and it will move on to the next tree. You can have multiple forks, but only one fork point. So if a tree is split into 3 forks at 6 meters, you would have a fork height of 6 meters. Fork 0 would be from ground to the crosscut. Fork 1, 2, and 3 would be above the fork point. You can't have multiple fork points in FirsDC. To explain this further, I'll show you in the Assister. Scrolling across to the right-hand side of the buttons at the top, click the Assister button. Right at the bottom, there's a section that explains forks. So for a normal fork, fork 0 goes from the ground to where the crosscut is, and then fork 1, fork 2, or fork 3 continue from that point onwards. For a ramicorn type fork, the tree will go up fork 0 from the ground to the top of the tree, and fork 1 will be counted as the ramicorn. Again, the fork height is the point at which a crosscut may have to be made for that ramicorn, or where that branch would be cut off, or the ramicorn branch would be cut off. We can click back to go back to our data entry. With quality and custom fields for fork trees, custom fields are recorded at tree level. So if you click a custom field value for a fork and click Save, the values are updated for all forks. If we look at quality, quality requires separate values for each fork. So in this example, we know our fork height is 6 meters, and we can say it's maybe A to 4 meters and then P onto the fork point. Click Save plus Next. And again, for the fork, it's starting at the fork point, so it may be P right to the top of the tree. And again for fork 2, starting at the fork point, say P to 14 meters and then waist to the top of the tree. We've completed entering a fork, and you can click back to go back to your tree and then now save as complete. Any warnings may pop up, but we can look at that in another video. You've just entered forks for your first tree.